ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, TheScoreEsports.com, Mountain Dew, and ESEA.
Hello, good evening. Welcome back to the ESL Pro League. More CS. We are throwing it in your faces Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, even last weekend. We gave you some Pro League action as well. And the Counter-Strike does continue today. We had a fantastic day just yesterday. And I say we, I am joined by two fantastic human beings. I've got myself, Janko YNK Punovic and Lauren
Let's not go too far, Alex. Come on.
Some okay
I'm just
human
an
beings.
Analyst.
Just some nice human beings.
Just an analyst.
He's an okay
average human being. I mean, come on.
Have you managed to see any of the sun, Janko, or was it just on your commute to the studio? Because it's like 30 degrees outside in Cologne.
Only on my commute to the studio. I don't want to risk it, Alex.
Okay.
Come on.
I mean, actually, I think the only person that's actually got a tan so far is Sadakist. I don't know where he was, but he's got brown legs right now. Brown legs. I don't know how I know that. He's wearing shorts. That's how I know. How are you doing anyway today,
Really?
Lauren? You good?
Yeah, I'm loving already finding out so much more about my co-workers than I expected
absolutely.
to know.
And I called you a lovely human being. Do I get some credit for that?
No,
No.
you're just lying.
I am. It's a horrible, horrible, vicious lie. Anyway, I did talk about our CS yesterday. That's what we're going to be talking about first of all. A reminder of the 4 games we did see. Of course, it was some off-air as well, and we'll be talking more about G2 as they're going to be cropping up today. But you saw Fnatic and Mouse, and of course, both teams undergoing some severe changes. We saw the Swedish Shuffle, and we saw the result of that working in Fnatic's favor, actually, as they bested Mouse Sports with a very new and exciting edition of Oscar. And after that one, we got to see NIP and Dignitas. We got to see a little bit of Nuke played out, which did show just what NIP were capable of, and seeing Dig fall a little bit better on the second map, seeing them pick up that big win. And I know that they were very happy to see that success on Dust2. You can see tweets from Cajun B and the likes of it, just saying this is actually, we really needed that to start off their season. It was a good start from Dignitas, I think, just seeing them find a win versus NIP. I mean, that's credit where credit is due, right?
Yeah, I think it certainly helps them, because NIP, even with a stand-in, is never a team you can underestimate. You can always expect them to be a contender, even if the map doesn't suit them as much, or things like that. So, and we saw some changes from Dignitas. We saw Cajun B being much more mobile with the AWP, more aggressive, which is a good sign for them for sure.
And that has to add pressure to everyone else on that leaderboard as well. If these kind of, I guess, you can't call them farming teams. They're teams that can cause upsets, but they're not the big dogs. If they're starting to pick up these one-to-one results, that's going to put pressure on teams like G2, who are currently 0-6. So, yeah, this is going to be quite interesting how this whole league format now actually fills out.
It was a bad day for G2 yesterday as well, conceding 2 convincing losses versus Envious, a team that have been kind of thrust to the bottom of the pile by a lot of us here at the desk. But before we do get any further, we actually got a great little treat for you. We're going to have a quick look back and remind ourselves of some of the best plays of yesterday's CS action.
Really big round here.
Yeah, and then about there, it's going to be 80. Stupid. What a Snappy has something to say about it, though, at this stage. It is very, very low, but Snappy falls to that one.
Yeah, look how low Freeze is. 80's not even... He's considering it in the fact that he's not peaking.
Good smoke,
but he will do. They don't have nades. They do have a Havoc here. That's the only one big benefit here now. They can under that, but he's going to hop up on top. Still looking towards CT, and he's not checking connector. Freeze has walked out, and I think he's just seen it. It's a 1v1, Mitch.
I can't believe it now. Moddy's forced to push forward as well. He, of course, the healthy one, but he gets cut down by AZ, and it's all about FaZe.
This could be pretty dangerous. NIP here coming through, and Exist just turns his back right into him. Switches up to the AK. Valda is going big. That's lovely. 3 kills back to back, and the... Why are they just running into him like this?
Span through the door and get lucky, but no, there's going to be a player coming in from window, and Valde gets himself the ace.
He's had a really rough time in this series so far, but he does find that first kill. Time ticking away, 45 seconds, he has got a headshot towards. What is this? Flamey, what are you playing at? They've got the bomb inside, he's running up lower ramp and they know he's there. Okay, well, if he wins this now, I think that's going to be the reason. But here we go. Smoke goes down, flashbang comes in as well. It's actually looking pretty decent for Body here. Gets the 3rd out of 4 as well. Could this be the player we've been waiting for? It's been quiet from him all night, but if he gets this, it's going to be so tremendous for his team. One player to find, and he gets it as well.
I think he'll be ready for Skadoodle here. He has the angle with the AWP, the Molotov, forcing anyone away from swinging wide. Grabs the 2nd kill. Great, and a 3rd one. Skadoodle, what a recovery and a hold. All 4 kills for Skadoodle.
From Zipix, and that might buy them time, because Kerrigan, he's going for the flank. There's an AK down. He's smart not to go for it immediately because he picks up a second kill. Snappy finds one in return, but he's isolated. Can he find it? Down to the one-on-one, and Kerrigan, timing is everything.
Those were our weekly top plays from our first week. Do excuse me, it was not just yesterday. That was, of course, from North America and Europe in the very first kickoff week of the ESL Pro League.
It's just nice to hear from Moses, to be fair. He had a bit of a moment.
He really got excited, yeah.
Hello, it's always good to hear from Moses.
It is always good. It's good to see Scar hitting shots as well. That's always exciting. I remember for a very short space of time, we got very excited about Skadoodle on Analyst Desk, then he fell into kind of obscurity quite quickly. But of course, this is not North America, and what we have coming up today is going to be very, very exciting. G2 do feature on the league table, and that's what we're going to be having a look at now because, well, you can see they are going to be facing off versus HR, and so far it has not been a fantastic journey for the French side, not picking up a single win yet in the Pro League, and now HellRaisers are going to be giving them another run for their money.
You could argue they've had some tough opponents in the form of Envy, FaZe, and Na'Vi. However, yet to even pick up a map out of these is pretty disastrous.
It is tough, and of course Envy, after beating G2, they've got their work cut out for them now versus the Ninjas, Yanko. I mean, it's a different kettle of fish altogether, right?
Yeah, for sure. But also they've shown good signs in Pro League, right? Having that convincing win over FaZe, which was a team effort. But then also yesterday against G2, actually, the game that we didn't see on stream, Apex in their 16-14 win on Train had 41 kills, which is amazing. Then they pretty much just rolled over them on the second map on Nuke, where Kenny was leading the way. So you can see a mix of them playing well as a team, but also their individual star players seem to have stepped it up as well. So I expect a tough task for NIP.
Should be good.
Yeah, we started to see some of that, I hate to say it, but it is the kind of cliched vintage Kenny S. Some of these obscenely, ridiculous shots. It was on Mirage, I think. I can't remember who it was against, but it was just this... I think it was FaZe. There's incredible shots coming back out from him that you didn't see as much, and he was confident as well. Going for these A main peaks on Cash, and all of a sudden they're going, wait, if Kenny S is coming into this kind of confident vibe, if Apex is starting to play well, this is starting to be a scary side. Because everyone thought Envy were going to be the lower side of the French teams coming back out of this. After the whole kind of, everyone going back to their old roles thing was being discussed. They've actually looked pretty good.
It was a solid start, and actually, I think this will be the test. Like, okay, congratulations, they beat G2 and convincingly so. If they can do it again, a different day, the same players show up, then I'll start getting excited. I'm not going to get ahead of myself too much here. But let's have a look at the table, though, and have a quick look about where this did put Envy and the likes of G2. That is such a big number next to G2's name. 6 losses already. They've lost to Na'Vi, FaZe, and Envy here in the Pro League, and it's not been pretty. Astralis are actually in a similar boat as well. 0-4, 2 rather big names of CS. Going to be sitting in then 13th and 14th. What else stands to you guys?
Well, I mean, I think that today we will see if any of these teams actually manages to pick up a win, because Astralis is playing as well against Flipside, and if not, then maybe one of them will, take the title of Virtus Pro in the second season.
Maybe, just maybe.
Yeah, and catching up with some of the Astralis players, they even said that they felt awful after those first games. Nothing felt right. It wasn't fitting in place. So they've gone back to boot camp. They've sat down and they already started to feel a little bit better. But it's, again, other teams are turning up before them. And even that small deficit to start with, I say small, 0-4 isn't small. It might hinder them later on to the season, but you should start seeing maybe a more improved Astralis, hopefully, if that work's actually been paying off. But again, it doesn't really matter if it in practice, I guess. You have to prove it in the officials.
It does seem like a lot of teams are doing these kind of back from holiday, post-holiday boot camp. I saw Astralis talking about, Na'Vi and SK are hanging out together. Like, it does seem like quite a few teams are just trying to get back on the horse and get back to form fast. Do you think boot camp is a viable way of getting the grind back on, Yanko? Just, like, is there a big difference to being in the room together than being in a kind of TS together?
I think there definitely is. There is, and I think that, going for a 5-day boot camp, something like that, not too long, I think that's probably the best way you can go for it, because everyone's there, everyone's back from holiday, so you would assume there's hunger to play CS again and to focus. So that's where you can be most productive, right? Because people can be distracted by, alt-tabbing or chatting with someone else, or, if as an in-game leader you're trying to go over a strat and everyone's on TeamSpeak, so you are assuming everyone's listening, but you can...
Whereas you've got eyes looking at you.
And now you have eyes, and then you can stand behind them, slap them on the back if they're not listening, they're not paying attention.
Yeah.
So I think this is the best way and the most productive way, most effective way to get your groove back after a vacation.
I'm looking forward to seeing if it does make an impact when we do next get to see the likes of SK, Na'Vi, and Astralis. But for now, we do not have that. This is what's coming up today. We do get to see the boys from HellRaisers return. We'll see if they can actually go ahead and pick up more wins. We also get to see a little bit more from Envy. That should be exciting to see how Ninjas and Envy clash. I mean, I think that's probably my match to highlight for today, just because I really want to see what the Ninjas are made of.
Yeah, and speaking of players coming back into some sort of form, Freiburg had an outstanding game for NIP on Nuke as well. A player who's been obviously under severe flack, but he's found a quick role he can fit into on Nuke. We get to see it again today, so that'd be quite interesting if he's able to get away with that again against maybe a more composed opponent. That'd be what my eyes are set towards. But again, Envy probably won't fall foul to the same sort of issues that the previous teams did.
Yeah, it does seem unlikely. But let's turn our attention to our first match, because it probably is getting set up right about now. It is going to be between HellRaisers and G2. Now, the big discussion we had yesterday surrounding HellRaisers was the loss of Oscar and how much it's going to be affecting them. It does seem like they're not going to be quite as jazzy as they once were. But even with Oscar, Yenko, these guys were not necessarily a team that could compete with the Greats.
Yeah, definitely. They were, you know, just under that top echelon of teams trying to break their way through, but they just couldn't manage to do it, even at, you know, the major qualifiers, in the end falling short to flip side as well. So I believe that in a matchup like this, it really comes down to G2, right? If they have had time to consolidate themselves, to get their groove back, I feel that, you know, they're clear favorites in this matchup. But if not, if they continue to be shaky like they have been so far, there's definitely an opening for HellRaisers.
Yeah, quite genuinely, this should be a 2-0 pickup for G2, quite simply on paper. And again, they very much need that. Nuke could be the spanner in the works, let's be very honest. HellRaisers seem to have it as a pick they like to go to. G2 haven't looked that good. Again, we saw, well, it was played out, I think, off stream against Envy, and they had an atrocious CT side. It was far from ideal. But HellRaisers had that big comeback. You know, we started to praise Team X for this really nice CT side that they constructed, but then they ran out of everything once they got to the T side, and HellRaisers just played, it felt kind of just default Nuke, though. There wasn't anything like new coming out to me there.
But 13-2, I mean, to overcome a 12-3 deficit to pick up the win, well, that was something that you don't see every day. Great to see from HellRaisers.
Nuke.
Yeah, okay, maybe different.
You definitely don't see it every day, but as we said, after that game in particular, it wasn't, you know, an example of amazing CT sides and great play and, you know, teams trying their best and doing everything possible on the T side. It was, for me, more of an example of poor T sides and then just people capitalizing on it on CT, right? When you're constantly going for same things, the outer split, and not even doing it properly, I mean, the best you could. It just seemed like both teams weren't really as practiced on their T sides.
Yeah.
And we saw the kind of different side of that, I guess, when CT side economies get broken down and kept incredibly low with the Dignitas game. It was kind of like the two polar opposites of what can kind of happen. And they just got completely trashed once they got to that CT side after a decent performance on their T's going, oh, actually, they got like 6-7 rounds. Oh, that's pretty good on their T side. So again, you see different types of nukes. And I think we just need to find out the teams that have that consistency to either be able to deal with once they go into that CT deficit with the money kind of spiraling against them, the teams who just don't have much in it. You know what I mean? It's hard to just judge where people are.
Inconsistency is a theme I think we should run with, actually, when we're talking about G2, because it wasn't that long ago we were actually getting very excited about. I think even at ESL 1 Cologne, we were talking about this team and the success they found at ECS, the success they found at Pro League, where they were looking really good. Shox and Scream was this kind of big, hypey duo that everyone was making, you know, montage clips about with your dubstep drops and everything. You know, everyone was getting into this Scream Shox coming back and this kind of vintage Shoxy who would carry a team, put him on his back, and that's already gone. I mean, they've just conceded 6 maps versus some of the teams that we would assume they'd beat had they had that ECS form.
I wouldn't say it's gone per se. It's definitely not there at the moment, but it doesn't mean it's gone for sure, right? Their playstyle is dependent on individual performances in a sense that not all the time, but you know, they like to go for executes on their T side where Shox is trying to make some noise on one side of the map and draw people to him, and then the rest of his team can react with maybe Scream spearheading that attack, right? But if Shoxy is not hitting his shots, if he doesn't make an opening on one side of the map, then there's no reason for their opponents to rotate, to move or anything, which makes it a lot harder for the rest of his teammates to execute what they wanted to initially, right? Similar like we saw yesterday in the Mousesports Fnatic game on Dust2, when Nico walks by himself out mid, if he kills a player, then it's great. He forces a rotation, they need to move around, creates an opening, but if he just dies, then they're stuck with no other map control.
And I was going to say, the first map being Dust2 is the perfect highlight point as to how G2 are going to play, at least in my eyes, is does Shox get that perfect kind of mid-lurking entry role? It's a really weird role that he can fill, but it works, you know, very nicely. Or does it fall apart? Do they just seem to run out of steam when they try and get up cat? Do they lose out on players here and there everywhere? Does Smith have a very dull game? I know that sounds quite harsh to him because he is quite a passive AWPer, but sometimes he does just shy away a little from the forefront. And the irony being, when G2 seemed to run out of steam previously before they made the lineup switches, people like Existence were the ones kind of opening up opportunities. My mind goes back to, I can't remember which offline final it was, but he was just running into B, opening up these sites, creating opportunities, which they don't seem to be doing at the moment. But then again, that could come from any individual on that team actually stepping up to the plate. So I think Dust2 is a really good litmus test to find out where G2 currently are form-wise and how they're going to play for the rest of the series, at least to my eyes.
So, I mean, do you consider that a flaw to both of you? I mean, do you consider it a flaw relying on one player performing or two players performing to find success? To me, that sounds like quite a big problem.
It could be a flaw, but it's not. You could see G2 slowly shifting away from that. Not necessarily, but they have other options. We even saw it in their Dust2 game against Navi. You saw a couple of good executes towards the A bomb site with a lot of smokes to, force Guardian on the AWP back. And they have diversity on Dust2. It's, in my opinion, their best map. But honestly, for G2, at least in Pro League, you could see that it's the CT sides that they've been really abysmal on. And CT sides, more often than not, come just to you being on point individually. And it seemed that G2 is really struggling with that.
Just losing their jewels, right? Yeah. Okay, so a weak CT side. That's quite a rarity, though, isn't it? I mean, like usually, if you encounter problems, it's going to be on your T side. Is that a bit of a silly assumption?
Not necessarily. As a team, yes, if you're maybe mid-season, but to come back after a break, and but players are rusty, not just mechanically, but maybe a bit slow in decision making, right? So instead of buying time, you maybe overextend, then you die, get control of the bomb site, and on a map like Dust2, if you just die towards the ARAM, for example, and give control of Cat without T's having to spend a lot of resources, then they're going to have a lot of stuff left for the retake and so on, and you make life really difficult for yourself.
Yeah, even if you look back at the game they had against, I think it was Na'Vi, when Body got tagged almost every single round.
Oh my God,
that doesn't help.
It really doesn't help, because it's just like, I'm sat at B, I've got 20 HP, what do you want me to do?
Who kept hitting that shot?
Guardian.
It was Guardian every time, yeah.
4 rounds in a row.
That's right.
And it's just, things like that are actually pretty unlucky for one, that happening so often, but still, it's like G2 were infamous for that CT side aggression as well on Dust2, where they push B tunnels, they try and regain map control, and Na'Vi were going B tunnels almost every round, waiting for it. Again, it's like for those guys to just get mentally back into the game, to get that timing right, to get the feel right, to be able to go, okay, this is the best time to start pushing out for information on this side of the map to regain something here, or maybe playing up towards A long, trying to get something going. This sort of just reaction play, I think, is a little out of sync at the moment. Just simply probably not playing as a team, because they did go on holiday, they did take that break. So again, I think it takes a little bit of time to slip back into that sort of mental, I guess, test of just getting back into form.
And someone that had a good performance, just while we're kind of coming back to the point before when we talked about G2 and the success that they did have a little while ago, one of the big kind of integral factors was that Body was actually having good performances, which was something that I know a lot of people were waiting to see happen, right? This new arrival in G2 got a whole lot of flack when it first arrived, probably less so than his counterpart from LDLC Devil, but still, it was there. Have we seen, the Body rise to the occasion now? I know he was dealing a lot with nerves and performance anxiety. Do you think that's kind of, he's had enough time to kind of get past that?
I think so. I think we've seen a couple of good performances from him. You can't really expect him to be, top fragging or the star of the team with the likes of Scream and Shox. None of the other players really can. You would expect it more maybe from RPK, seeing as he's a much more experienced player than Body is. But I feel that Body has been doing what's required of him so far. Yes, has a couple of bad games, has a couple of good games, but if you look at the average, I feel that he's been doing his part.
Yeah, I think it was the Pro League finals in London, I think he had a big tournament there personally.
That's what I was thinking
about. And then
about.
everyone went, oh, okay, now we can see there is potential. You can see that high skill ceiling starting to be reached. And it's actually a really nice opportunity when everyone's kind of getting back into the kind of vibe, everyone's starting to play again. He gets to kind of start afresh with everyone kind of coming back into it, mentally just kind of get himself prepared up to it. But again, there's other new players here. Smite coming in for HellRaisers as well has to step up to the plate. So there's a lot going on between these two teams of people settling into the right roles, getting back to their feet. So it is in flux, and you're going to see teams either thrive in that or actually flounder.
Intriguing, and I wonder which one it will be for G2 and Body and his merry men. But for now, I'm going to ask you guys for predictions for our first map. We're going into Dust2. Now, do you have any faith in HellRaisers, or is this going to be... You've already said it. You said it should be a 2-0 G2.
It should be, but I'm going 1-1.
You are? Okay, so you see HellRaisers just maybe on Nuke? That's
Nuke.
Yeah, okay. Believing in Nuke. What about you, G2? I just called him
Hey,
G2.
G2, what's up?
What about you, G2?
Where's my samurai mask?
Let's try that again.
I feel that at least on Dust2, it has to be a G2 win. If they want to still have any chance of making it to the playoffs in Pro League, they need to start racking up some wins.
They certainly do. I mean, sitting on a big fat goose egg, 0 for G2, despite playing 6 games here in the Pro League. Let's see if they can find their first win. And to cast you through all of the action, it's none other than Henry G and Sadakist.
Yes, thanks so much. I still look like crap on camera, apparently, when it comes to me. It's shocking, isn't it? But HellRaisers,
what's wrong with you?
I don't know. Like, what isn't wrong with me? Like, let's not open that can of worms.
Right.
There's a lot. HellRaisers, Oscar. Reasonable start to the night last night, but it was a little bit slow, and now they go against G2. Maybe this is a gift in the sense that G2 has been playing pretty lackluster this season, to say the least, but I think they have to get out of the win column tonight. If they don't get out of the win column tonight, right,
This is going to be 2-0 G2. They're going to arrive, Matt. I'm calling it right now. Dust2 and Nuke, good maps for G2 as a whole. I feel like Dust2 is probably their best map available, and we know they can play Nuke as well. We've cast them a few times. They definitely can get wins in it, but we are getting straight underway here. It's going to be HellRaisers versus G2. G2 starting on the T side here as well. Scream's got the Deagle. Along him, it's going to be his teammates with 4 sets of armor. So it looks like they are going to be contact in towards B. Zero will be waiting for them. He will be joined up by Sticko as well, but that Deagle goes straight into play, and the first headshot arrives.
Sticko's trying desperately from the window to get a kill on the way through, to catch them off as they cross. Bonic will do the same from the doorway, though, so they've got 2 chances at slowing down this bomb toward the site. Preferably, if they could get a kill, it would strengthen the retake significantly, being down a man. Smike will do exactly that. And it's going to slow it, though, as the bomb gets planted. They approach all from middle. No one coming through the tunnel. Smart positioning on top of the box to the left of Bondic right now. As soon as he walks in, he'll be confronted by Body, and RPK just has to watch, give the information. They're being passive about it, and see, there it is, perfectly done. RPK turns around, Scream, they've all got kills on the way through. Body was there, it was well placed, and they didn't even have to consider tunnels as a result.
Well, there it is. The Desert Eagle Scream opens things up towards B. Quite a simple strategy as a whole. Walk into the site, hope he can actually get a headshot, which works out for them as well. He ends up getting 2 of them. And HellRaisers tried to do the retake there. They didn't have the manpower or anything to actually work with there. So G2 pick out the pistol, and we go to round number 2. There is a force buy coming in from HellRaisers. The scouts, very prevalent on Dust2 as a whole. They're going to be facing towards middle here. 2 of them for HellRaisers, but looks like G2 will be focusing towards long. We know they like to take control of this area most of the time. Going to having 4 players flashing over. No confrontation for now, but there is going to be Smike. HellRaisers pick up for HellRaisers. He's waiting on the A side, but in lower B it's going to be Shocks finding Bondic with that Mac 10.
Shocks pushing through. Smoke out, flashes, although he gets there. 2 kills for him. $1,200. Glock from the distance. Right, 1,800. I'm sorry, math is hard, but Scream's going to take down Smike.
Well then, 2,400 overall.
But yeah, absolutely.
Not bad. Not bad at all. That's all you want when you got the Tech 9 in your hand as well. And it's going to be 2-0. Pretty easy for G2 to overcome the force by. The scouts didn't do too much. Not finding a single kill there. So Shocks finding 4. It's going to be the redundant round as they go into number 3 for USPs. And 1 P250 purchased by Angel. We'll see if we can do anything with that weapon. It's going to be long once again for G2 by the looks of things. For me, it's not the safest approach going straight for this as Zadarani. We probably want to work a default and see if there's any information available. There's an equal exchange, but RBK coming out trumps as he finds 2 headshots with the AK-47. Shocks once again with that Mac 10, and it looks like he wants even more here as he does a lot of damage and is going to be running around with the 5-7, and that's pretty much round over here. We have got the last remaining CT player in towards lower B, but Shocks rips his head off as well. There it is, 3-0. G2 desperate to get a win here.
Some mad bank. Look at that, 98.50 going into round 4.
Not bad.
Toss that over to, well,
he's going to keep the Mac 10 as well.
He should, yeah, but I think he's going to drop. Okay, so he goes AK. I thought he would drop the AWP to Smith's.
I guess at this point.
Well, but even if he keeps Mac 10 or goes to AK, if Smith buys him the AK, it keeps Smith's economy more level with everyone else on the team. So you potentially buy a little bit more for your AWP. I guess you could drop it in the next round if they had to, but I kind of like that nice balanced economy. Keep the books in check. Don't burn the books, balance them, right, Hillary? As it's going to be inside of the B site. HellRaisers trying to hold off with some smokes out early. Bomb is on the other side of those at the tunnel. They're waiting for Scream to open it up. He'll do exactly that. Sticko goes down. Zero just has to wait for the opportunity to present itself, though, because he is going to be surrounded. And although he gets one, RPK times it perfectly with his teammates in mid, and they get the site.
After that force fire as well, you can see the CTs don't have kits. The bomb goes down towards B. They're smoked out. They haven't got the man advantage as well. I think this is the chance to save. They have got the orb. It's a bitter pill to swallow, but sometimes it has to be done. So it looks like they will be doing exactly that. It's a fast speed play. And G2, that's a great strategy to bring to the first gun round, especially when you know they force ball in the second. They won't have the incendiaries to hold you off. They might be doing a bit of a more aggressive setup towards short, for example. So Scream runs out towards middle, finds that first kill, and then the bomb site is almost completely overrun. As Zero is waiting there between B tunnels and window. He gets wrecked after getting one kill. And the CTs, like I said, make the correct decision here. And we'll see whether Smite can keep his orb. They know where he is now. Are they going to be hunting for them? So Shox is in towards T-spawn, body holding middle. I think all the CTs will survive. It's going to be 4-0 for G2. Like we said, this is the best map yet to get a win in Pro League as of yet. 0-6. Someone who should be in heavy contention for the top of the table.
Yeah.
Not actually finding a single map yet. And the thing is, they've been actually doing very well on their T sides. It's the CT when it all crumbles, right? So they get like 11 rounds on the T half.
And this, I mean, this map is great for them in that sense because traditionally they're, I mean, first off, they're good on it to begin with, but they're very good on that CT side. The problem is that Shox, I think, has become a little bit predictable in his aggression toward the B tunnel. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. And if HellRaisers, when they swap over, have a plan to foil it. Meanwhile, Smith's fast around the corner, to the corner, I should say, because he has to stop up. That flash came through perfectly timed, and Bondit gets two, but low on HP. Body will pull it back. Not only that, he hits Angel as well, so it's equal playing field immediately after those two great start kills for HellRaisers, and you'd think they'd want to try and stabilize the leads like this. Shox waiting in smoke. They're going to push him. Flash comes through. Oh, this is so perfect. That's he's spotted up, but he still gets the kill. He's in behind the box. It's going to be a 1v1 against Sticko Peeker, who's going to take the advantage. Well, it's going to be Sticko in the end, but bomb goes down while that happens, and AWP in hand, despite that they've got two kits, they're going to elect to go both toward Catwalk to open up the angle. Yeah, well, the problem is as well, G2 still have his nice crossfire and body with the Molotov as well. He can actually Molotov towards shore. We've got RPK holding the bomb site. Actually gets burnt a little bit by his teammates' Molotov there. The retake has to come in for HellRaisers now. They need to start getting rounds on the board here. Going to be going for it, but RPK holding strong here. Both headshots working out for him. And it's another round going in favor of G2 there. What a play that was from Shox as well. Do you see the awareness there? Like, he actually must be watching the HellRaisers there, how they retake towards middle, because that flash, he was expecting it. He wasn't holding the angle like he can hear footsteps. He's like, well, when they come through this area, they normally throw this flashbang, and I'll wait for that. And takes one of them down at least, but delayed the other one for sure. So 5-0. HellRaisers can't do much more than just a partial buy here. One scout, some Desert Eagles, but the scout comes out trumps there. It's going to be Angel picking up the first kill through the door. It's a headshot on towards Smiths. But you can see G2 aren't going to be messing around here. We're about to walk into the B side, but now going to be smoked out. So this might delay things. Not adjusting themselves just yet. You can see we have got body towards the top of middle. Shox has picked up the AWP, and then Smike with the Desert Eagle. Could this be the round they pick up? 5 versus 3 now. Reasonable. Considering the Scout and the Deagle have started this off against the weapons, tagged through the door, but Angel only goes down to 53. Meanwhile, though, Shox is trying to walk in toward mid and B site, getting a little bit occupied. Zero does win that duel, though. RPK, he goes down. Shox, he finds one with the AWP backside, but it's just two of them remaining. Flashes out, smokes as well. Tech9 isolates Zero. Surprisingly, it takes Angel that long to find an angle due to the bounce smoke that covers off backside. Body has to push through it, though. And he's going to go with the AK-47 down to a one-on-one. Lovely shot against Smike. It's a 1 versus 3 if he pulls this off. He'll elect to ignore the bomb and find the angle instead. Bondit gets caught off.
Well recovered from G2 there. It's the first 2 or 3 kills going in favor of HellRaisers, and it looked like they were going to be focusing towards that B side. G2, they actually have a pretty aggressive play there from Shox. He does an early smoke in, flashes over, finds one. That was enough to give Body this opportunity to work the 1 versus 3. Very composed stuff. You could see he had a read on Bondic. As soon as he shows himself towards the door, finds the headshot, and it's going to be 6-0 here. We have another gun round for HellRaisers. Of course, the full loss bonus coming in. And like I said, G2 do favor this long area. Scream will be going first. Flash for now. The CTs are going to be facing from the corner. Get the first couple of kills here once again. Can they finally capitalize on this advantage? It looks like they will, as they actually have got a lot of firepower towards long, taking their 3 kills, and they've got control of the bomb as well. But Shox, he's trying to make something happen towards middle, get some rotating players perhaps. Sticko with the first one to spot him here as he tries to adjust and swing out to the corner, but gets his head taken off by Shox.
So another disadvantage for G2 they'll have to pull back from.
Still doable at this point. RPK seems like he's in absolutely everything. He's got Shox with him as well. They've got a smoke and they have got flashbangs to go for this first phase. I guess the idea is RPK will be flashed in. They're going to be smoked out there for now, so that will delay them somewhat as they get themselves into the long doors.
Yeah, well-timed smoke. Not only that, down to what? Still a minute to work with, sure, but the rotation of the third player, bringing Smike onto that AWP at the car with that bomb down in their vision. And there's no chance for an off flank. They could go toward Catwalk. The op would catch them from car in that possibility, but then it's also inside of middle zero, just watching toward the double door. So if they elect to go for an extremely long flank, they'll be caught out. And now the information's given up. Angel, though, staying on top of the flames, goes down to 36. Chance to do some damage on entry against him. But Shox gets tagged onto 17. 28 seconds. They've got the bomb through the smoke. That's the important aspect of this. And now HellRaisers is aware of it. They'll try and rotate around, but 22 seconds, they've got to commit. And it's going to be Catwalk. They go down to CT spawn, rotated. Angel anticipating it may go to B, but it's still Smike on the site. First shot successful. Headshot lineup. Angel can't land it yet, but Smike repeaks, and the AWP reigns supreme.
Well, G2 once again that round focusing towards a long area. This time HellRaisers have adjusted. 3 players there. Heavy use of the utility as well. Their own smokes and Molotovs coming in. And the game's crashed. Yeah.
That's what I like.
So,
that's what I like.
Basically, you get to see us again. So that's the good thing.
I really need to look in a mirror before we go live. So maybe... Perfect. They're going to Observer 2. Thankfully, I don't have to be on camera again. Camera shy, Henry.
You never used to be.
It's true. That's what esports has done to me.
You've been esports.
I'm not as good looking as Mega Man. I can't be on camera. Smith's AWP walking down through Suicide. Speaking of, he's been quiet to start this off. 0-5. About to say 6, but 0-5. His map, we talk about that. Mostly CT side, I would say, but T side he still has usually a resounding effect. We'll see if he can finally pull it together as they group in middle for a default. Bondic in toward pit right now. He'll anchor long. Smike's rotated for the drop shot from the top of Catwalk, and Angel just watches mid until they go for a setup after the information comes through. That's the information, though, but Smike falls away without really doing much.
Yeah, I felt like he should have actually landed that shot. They ran into him and one pretty far in the corner either. He had an opportunity to take one down. Didn't land the shot. Still, though, didn't die for it, so 5-5 still. 1 minute remaining. Angel waiting for the mid split here, but you can see once again, it looks like another long retake. Potentially. Oh, sorry, that's towards short. That's the mini-map deceiving me. They're actually up towards short. Smoking towards CD spawn. We know they have these execution Scream normally goes in first, jumps through, trying to push the AWP back, and he normally nails a shot to be fair. This time he won't. His Smike takes him down, but there's still a lot of pressure to deal with.
Is indeed, and Smike who gets stuck inside the smoke. Body nearly goes for the knife on to him, but Bondic will spot him instead and save him as a result. Angel, meanwhile, trying to watch through CT spawn. It Shox and RPK again. Open this back up. Angel's got a lineup, though, and he's got 2. Down goes RPK, and Smith's a chance, but G2, Shox, he has to clutch this back. Keep the bomb ticking. Don't let it be diffused, and with a smoke down on the site, they're going to try and go for it. He'll hit the shot on Bondic, and Angel, he's not holding this. No kit. Tries to bait this out, but he knows he's going to the ramp, and Shox has the accuracy once more.
Did Angel have a kit? I missed that.
He did not.
He did not. Okay, so that's the point. He had definitely had time for a full defuse there, and he was on the side defusing. I thought, okay, he's definitely got it, but then he saw him panicking, threw the Molotov down. That was the cue for Shox. He could actually move position there. Another defuse comes in. He's just ready for him to face at that point. Lovely stuff by Shox, working towards middle by himself, recovers 2 frags, gets towards CT spawn, just so aware, so good in those situations. It's a full reset for HellRaisers now. They get the scout once again and some deagles, but it's going to be pretty tough for them to come back into this. The money's not too bad. They should be able to buy next round. But Smith's opened things up. This time the scout does not better him. So you're getting that first kill. And very simple approach here from G2. To be fair to them, it's working almost every single time. They've just been focusing on long or the B side. They've only gone up towards short once so far, and that was last round. And Shox once again just holding the flanks, waiting for the rotators, and he probably will kill both of them. He's got down to 11 HP here. Oh, what a shot to finish it off, though.
Shox is on right now, man.
Yeah, he's ready. He's got 17 kills, 4 deaths. So,
9 rounds.
Yeah. Not bad.
He's almost on your level, Henry.
Yeah, well.
But you never, ever beat him in Source, so perhaps he's above it.
That's true, he definitely is. I've always admitted that, Matt.
So you have, to be fair. It's the one thing you've resigned in terms of that.
Yeah.
You usually don't admit defeat early. Nate's not getting long. Screams forward of it, though, and 2 headshots. Never mind your Pokeball. I am the Mewtwo you will not catch because it's 2 kills for him. And Shox, another headshot. This is the duo. This is exactly what we talked about. When these guys hit shots like this, RPK included tonight, they are unstoppable. And Body's clutched out as well in a few rounds.
Yeah, when they're hitting shots like that, what can you even do? It's not like you can adjust your setups and think, right, we need to start playing like this. They're just hitting the most insane shots right now. Shox and Scream. There's nothing really you can do to stop that. You could adjust your strategies all day. That's pretty godlike. No one should be doing that. Well then, 0, 4-1. Smiths, he finds his 2nd kill so far. He's on 2 for 7, but when that kind of stuff's going down, what can you really do? It's gonna be Shox now, 19 for 5. HellRaisers on yet another eco here. Only got $2,400 going to this round, so another eco coming in. This has been a very fast half, I have to say. So USPs, P250s, this should be 10-1 here in favor of G2. If they continue like this, I don't see how HellRaisers can actually get around on the board here.
Smith is going to go, but the flash is a little late considering.
He wants some of this eco action. He is, well, guys, I haven't had much so far. Please, can I just go middle by myself? Yes, you can, but you're only going to have one.
Yeah, I mean, that's so true, though. Where's he going to get kills if the AKs are just tearing everyone's head off? Speaking of, Shox again, able to snap back and find Angel, but that time he's stacked up by 3.
Yeah, so he spotted them at least, so he finds his 20th frag in round number 11. His ADR must be off the charts. 2 players remaining. They have managed to save an AK, but RPK, he'll be looking to lock that down. There it is. Both kills, one of them a headshot. And I want to have a look at Shoxy next round. What's he got?
What does he have, Henry? I'm waiting for you to ponder the thought.
200 ADR.
That's actually stupid. 2 full kills every round.
Yep, not bad. Round number 12, double AWP setup, an adjustment from HellRaisers, something that's probably required. Nothing else is really worth at the moment, but there it is. Sticko does best Smiths with the AWP once again. This last time was the Scout. And can G2 recover from this, considering the form they're in so far? Hasn't been Smiths has been getting the kills as the other 3, so man advantage, but you can see they're limited in terms of the utility of the CTs. GT could never execute towards the A side, they wouldn't have much to hold them off. Shox has picked up the AWP, looking for another pick here. As RPK makes way towards short.
And on short, the first they'll confront the game will be Smike. AWP in hand. We'll wait for the action, because he's going to find the drop, misses the shot, a little bit late. Now they can try and push onto the ramp. They've got to get a support system in, but the smokes cut them off. That's actually very well designed.
Yeah.
So rather than the smokes going off to cover CT, they isolate Bondic at long. They know he's been there. They've had the most trouble trying to win that duel. Body finally pushes through and catches one, but there he is still. It doesn't matter. They get to the site, and they get Smike down before he can do any damage.
You can see how hard it is for the AWP to hold it off. He has no backup from any of the players on the map. There's 2 smokes to take away the player along as well. And now just Sticko hoping someone gives him a kill as he nervously waits for shot. He actually misses the shot as well. That would give them an opportunity, but they haven't got a kit, no grenades remaining. This will just be saving the AWP and the M4A1S. Shox, though, he just seems to know where everyone is. They just run off. They know they've been spotted, and they're going to be going back towards T-spawn here, sticking on the back of B. And that was a round where HellRaisers had the advantage once again, but it's G2 finding kills everywhere. Shox gets one, screaming against one body with the last. And 2 players do survive for the CTs, and you can see Shoxy hunting. He knows the money's low for them. They've got 15k, 14, 12, 10. They've got so much money here. They're sorted the rest of the game. So then HellRaisers save 2 weapons. So you'd assume, considering the circumstance and how many rounds they actually have on the board, there's going to be a force spy coming in, which it will be. A Famus on Sticko. Angel has to have the 5-7. Smike does have the AWP though, so we'll see whether he can actually find the pick here. He'll actually be towards long this time, and it looks like a full-on B rush from GT. Why not? Everyone's killing everyone. Let's just get in there.
Flash out instead of the smoke, though, that bounces in and covers off backside. It leaves Zero a chance to be the hero, and he's got 3 already. A flash to support his teammate. They're both low on HP, though, but Body, he can't commit beyond the Molotov. He will find vision toward the platform when Zero steps beyond the mark and finally gives himself up, but his damage has been felt. There's no question about it. His profound effect on this round will leave G2 with only that many members alive as they start to rotate and try and reorganize themselves. AWP in the hands of Shox at mid to catch anyone perhaps trying to get further information, and the bomb, it'll go all the way back toward T-spawn with 1:12 to work with.
Problem is, this man on your screen right now is alive. And he's going to be edging out towards middle. Not going to find anyone just yet. You can see it's quite a defensive setup from the CTs. 2 and B, 1 on crossover, 1 towards the pit as well. That'll be Bondic. The Bombers in T-spawn for now, but they still have a minute to play with here. The Shox facing towards. Okay, that does get taken down by Smike. So surely Body can't do anything with this. At this point, he's just trying to find kills, do some damage to the economy of the CTs. Edging out towards long, but Bondic should take him down now. Should being the operative word.
I really wish HellRaisers would pick up someone named Ike so they could have Smike and Ike.
I'll see if I can get on that.
Thank you. Bondic, again in pit, will find Body. He's played 99.64% of the rounds there in that position, not moving at all. So it's working out at least to get some late kills for him. However, he's been isolated so many times that it hasn't had any effect in shutting down the A site. So second round for HellRaisers this time. Again, same problem though. They do face a reset round 14. So getting late into this. Double up setup on both sides as well as Scream will carry one over and Smiths goes back to it. Sticko's going to try and take the fight at least toward the barrels at the top of mid. He won't re-peek toward T-spawn.
Angel, aggressive, trying to find that kill on towards Body, but he's waiting the top here. I'm pretty sure Body's going to find him. There it is, takes him down, and now they have the 5 and 4. Sticko could find his kill there. You can see Body maybe considering going towards the top middle there, but Shocks, he's walked out towards long, undetected in front of the smoke as well. They have no idea he's here. Or will they? Okay.
Yeah, it didn't go far enough beyond the blue bin when the flash came through, caught on the door. Ooh. That nearly cost him his life as well.
Somehow got out of that situation. But the Sticker now misses another shot there towards middle. Had 2 targets on his screen. Decided to go in between both of them. And now they execute. We've seen it so many times before. They actually have 5 smokes in the hand, G2. So they can do the both variations of it. There's one towards CT spawn when they smoke off towards long, and there's one they go back towards middle. But it's looking like the former as the smokes come in, and Smike has to commit here. He's fully blind himself. Scream knows he's there. And they're going to be pushing it. There's a smoke missing, though. To their downfall, but they do manage to find the kill on towards Smike, so that should be them taking control of this round.
And you have to question Smike's crosshair placement in that. The most obvious decision is that they push to the wide side of the smoke instead of through it. And if he gets flashed, okay, well, that was probably always going to happen anyway. But either way, RPK, he'll cover off catwalk, cover the rotations as they planted for this position. Only one will stay on the site itself. The rest of them will take this fight. That's the more important one. That's the most threatening position right now from HellRaisers, and that they're going to save, because this is the reset again. So they have to carry guns over to round 15 if they want a chance of picking up 3.5. 3.5 CT side.
Yeah, it's not looking good. Well, I think you're probably right. It was very unlikely we were going to win that round. Time was ticking away. Didn't have any sort of control of long or short. Had so much to recover and 4 kills to find as well. Bondig just trying to get a souvenir kill here. It's probably not worth it for him considering the amount of money the terrorists have, and he actually does go down again. I think once he had spotted that one towards middle, he just needs to get out of there. So round number 15, this has been a very fast first half. It's going to be UMPs. That's actually not too bad. They managed to save 2 weapons. They have 2 M4s, an AK-47, an AWP, and a UMP. Still some utility as well. Shots come through the start, and there's going to be 0 going down to 42 HP. Body paying back some of the damage that was inflicted by Guardian there.
Yeah.
It's got a lot more to do, but giving some of it back.
He's learned where not to cross, so just fire at those positions and he might get lucky.
Yeah.
Reverse psychology. Reverse engineering, I suppose, would be more accurate. Just do everything backwards. 21 kills for Shocks as we are in round 15. Good flash through. Body's going to get another one to his total. He's now up to 12. RPK on 11, so they're battling it out for runner-up. Best of the rest. So this double up resides in the hands of G2. Smike on the A site this time. He's looking more and more lost and confused on that A site. We started off with a very standard default. Yeah, well, and they've got exactly this. With Bondik down, they finally have the pit. So he started out with the standard default toward car. He got caught out toward the ramp a few times. Now he's on the platform with very little coverage if they were to try and execute onto Cat. Thankfully for him right now, it is long that they've finally attained, so they'll try and use it to their advantage.
Yeah, G2 are very good at segregating parts of the map, right? So when they focus towards A and short, they're segregating the AWP at the crossover. When they're going towards long, it's the same thing, but in reverse. It's the player in the pit who can't get any backup here. And this is going to be Scream looking for the kill from the crossover. Actually gets it as well. Angel goes down 5 versus 2. It's going to be a pretty one-sided affair in the first half here, unless some absolute magic comes out from HellRaisers. This last round will not be going in their favor. Shocks just locking them in the mid doors as well. They know it. They've got no flashes remaining. Just trying to make him bait out a shot. That's not going to happen, lads. Back towards CT spawn, and they get absolutely wrecked there as well. 13-2, and not really much to analyze. It's just pretty much G2 hitting so many amazing shots there, controlling the economy of the CTs. Quite basic play in terms of the strategic approach, but they were very good at executing and actually knowing where the CT would be playing from. So very impressed overall. Shocks, what a performance.
That's the thing right there. When they're hitting shots like that, you can't really break down discipline. We'll be back. That's all I really have to say. There's nothing else I can say. Sometimes I feel like this music should just keep playing in games like this because we're basically watching a frag video anyway, and quite frankly, it doesn't take much to be a better caster than me. But the headshots from Shox have been non-stop, and so too have the rounds been piling up for G2. We sit at 13-2 at the half.
Yeah, every single clutch, every single situation, the opening frags, it just felt like everything was going in favor of G2 throughout that series. Well, throughout that first half, I should say. I say series, it feels like this one's coming to an end very soon in the first map at least. But still, there's always a sliver of hope to recover from a 13-2. It's very small, but we'll hopefully see them pick up the pistol, HellRaisers that is, and maybe grind out a slightly more convincing score overall. I don't see them winning at this point, considering the form G2 are.
Yeah, but this is a very encouraging.
Side, right?
It is the CT side. You mentioned that, so a chance for perhaps momentum to build. But like I think you're right. It is a little bit late to expect a comeback out of this in full. But where was this from G2 to start off the year? Where was this form? I mean, they're 0-6, and now they explode onto the scene again.
Yeah. Well, this is more promising for sure. Like we said, that holiday period, and we weren't really sure how is it going to affect some teams. It was clear that a lot of them were underperforming. Maybe this is the day that G2 finally blow off the cobwebs and they are back into it. And we're not going to be in the game just yet. This is just the warm-up. But yeah, like we said, HellRaisers on the T side, G2 have been struggling tremendously. They've had plenty of these results where they actually get amazing T-half scores. I think against Navi they won, was 11-4 on the T side, swapped over and still couldn't close out the game.
Yeah, it's true. There's been some shocking results so far this year. There's no doubt about it. I mean, last year we saw Virtus Pro struggling online, but that was kind of something that we knew was within their sort of patterns, I guess you could say. It was a fault that they've always had. It was just amplified last year. This year we're seeing shocking games where people do have big leads like this and blow them out, particularly like you say, Astralis.
Well then, I'm trying to work out what HellRaisers can do to get into this one. The T side, I'm sure we'll see some aggression from G2 considering the scoreline, and they want to see what they can actually do at the start of the round and actually get those first kills.
Someone just called me Mario Lopez in chat. No one has called me that since I started out in esports. I used to get called it all the time, but then esports made me fat, and I haven't been called that in a while. So this is good. This is me. This is me moving in the right direction, guys. I'm gonna have another failed Hollywood career.
That's the guy from Saved by the Bell, right?
Yeah, now he does like E-Entertainment Weekly or something. Yeah. He definitely skyrocketed. I think Macaulay Culkin's another one that had an equally successful adult career. And then there's us.
Yeah, what can you say about us?
There's really not much to say, Henry.
We'll get better.
I'd say failed parenting, but my parents were great. It's just my fault.
Just my fault. No one else to blame. He's allowed it to happen.
Well, we still are in half. Team's just waiting to ready up. And I'm seeing, oh no, RPK is moving. So it's going to be someone on the HellRaisers side that we're waiting on. And I think it's going to be Bondic. And he's moving as well. So I don't know who we're waiting on.
I'm sure we'll be underway momentarily. Maybe it's the HellRaisers trying to work out the perfect strategy on the T-side pistol. They need to win it. Has to happen. If we lose it, ooh, what are we looking at here?
Please put that on, Rush.
Oh, open it.
Yeah, dude, I tried to open a case today and it wouldn't let me use my credit card.
Here we go.
If he gets a knife right now, I'm actually leaving. Thank you. Thank you. One more, Rushley, please. The game is started, I do believe, by the way. So get out of your inventory, Rush. No one cares about your terrible skins. And we're going to get live. So it's going to be armor on all of the HellRaisers players except for Smike. He's got a smoke and 2 flashes to work with. Meanwhile, aggressive play. Scream already got mid. Yeah, totally. Body's got the kit, but you called it. The G2 would get aggressive. He gets caught in behind the Xbox, has to get away, jumps across, no bullets land. He's still on 90. So decent start.
Smith, though, he's coming out towards long. Will they be anticipating it? Oh, the timing to work out perfectly. He can land the first shot here, which he does. Takes down Bonnet, but seems like he wants more out of this. Maybe the terrorists adjusting themselves, and Smith wildly firing off the USP bullets. Can't seem to have the same precision we've seen from Shox and Scream so far, but Shoxy, he wants a piece of the action. He's ready. That's what you need from these top players. As he finds the first one, you can see HellRaisers so apprehensive to face him again, and for good reason, as he finds the second headshot and the third. Can he make it 4? He cannot, but still an impressive performance. And it's Shox's 3 headshots, and that's the round over at this stage. Smike, 4 versus 1 in the tunnels, and players all around him. Has got the bomb and a couple of bits of utility as well, but Shoxy is giving us a masterclass at the moment.
Yeah. I think you're right.
He seems so confident in himself, like he just knows, well, I'm going to get 3 kills here. It's not even a favourable position for me, but I'm just going to keep going with it.
I don't mind Smike's movement mechanics, just watching his movement here. And he's quite smart about trying to isolate players here. He just wants to get kills to build up his money a little bit. Seems like he uses a reasonably quick sensitivity, though.
Yeah, looks like it.
I've increased mine again, by the way. I went down to your, like, 400 1.0. That was inevitable as we saw that coming. He surely, like you said, wasn't going to win the round. So G2 go to 14 winning that pistol. But I tried your 1.0 400. It's great when you're already pre-aimed. It's terrible for everything else. I couldn't avoid flashes. I don't have the game sense you have.
It's about moving your whole arm instead of the wrist, right? So you have to be used to that. It's.
I'm really good at moving my wrist.
Yeah, you've had lots of practice in that, so yeah.
It's true.
Anyway, it's obviously going to be the force fight from HellRaisers here. What else can they do? It's one round away for G2, 4 match points here. This is going to be 2 separate games, of course. I'm sure you're used to the format by now. Dust2 is the first one. This will be G2 getting their first arrival in Pro League at all. And you'd think from this performance they'd have a lot more. They're currently 0-6. But I'm sure, I've got a feeling HellRaisers win this round. No one ever closes out a game this cleanly. It never happens. Somehow, something always goes wrong.
I feel like you're almost like reverse jinxing it now.
I'm just saying, even when you have these kind of score lines, something always goes wrong. Like maybe someone gets a bit too confident or overfaces, or we'll see. You'll see what I mean in a second.
All right, fair enough. Smith's waiting at car this time with the M4 body. He's got the shotgun, but he's at B, stacked up on the boxes, waiting for a chance to try and catch them off when they come through. But guess what? As we know it, they don't. But as we know it, they're not going that direction. They're going to flash Smiths off. They'll try and get more aggressive. Dodges the second flash. Headshot lined up. Does pick it up against Smike. And now it shocks to deny the plant. Little taps come through, but misses the spray. However, Smith is there to follow it up. Palm plant may, in fact, go down immediately. But that's all they'll get out of this is Bondic in a 1 versus 4. Isolate Smith, fair enough. He had to go for the reload. He was already tagged up, but now it's all she wrote, I'm afraid.
Not quite.
Murder, She Wrote. Did you ever watch that show? My parents did.
Yeah, I think it used to be on like the rerun
British
channel.
show, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's still on the rerun channel, to be fair.
There it is, though. I called HellRaisers might have a chance of that one, but apparently not. They do get the bomb down, though, so it means they get some money going to the next round. Not much, but some. It's going to be 15-2 now. They'll have enough for Tech-9s or Scouts. Maybe Galil if they really want to as well. Let's see what they decide to do. I'm sure it'll be maybe 2 Scouts, a couple of Tech-9s, 1 Galil. That's what I'm guessing. And Aiken comes up for 0. Oh, okay, so they're going to drop the guys who have bought armor. They're getting dropped AKs. So there'll be 0 left of a Deagle. There's a couple of AKs out there. Galil on Scout. Let's see if they can find anything here.
I'm waiting with anticipation. There's really not much to describe. It's pretty fanned out and straightforward in terms of a default from HellRaisers. That point for G2 already fast. First game, we have to say.
The thing is, right, HellRaisers know how confident G2 are feeling right now, but I feel like G2 have probably said to themselves, guys, we've thrown away so many games recently. Let's slow it down. Let's just win it right here, right now. They're going to buy. Don't do anything silly. Let's hold back and just win this one round. Let's show everyone we are back. Let's not even give them an opportunity to get into this one, which I like. They have been very aggressive and audacious so far, but you can see that HellRaisers were hoping that was going to happen. They could sit back and maybe surprise them with the AKs they have. Now time ticking away. They've got a couple of smokes and Molotov remaining, so they will be focusing towards shorts, but that could be the good call because not actually going to be on there. Just Smith's on the A-bomb side. He's only got the M4A1S in hand as well. No AWP for him. And Sticko to be going in first. They will be smoking towards the side. CT spawn.
Yeah. Down it goes. Just above Shox' position. He's going to go box to try and cut this off, so when they drop, he'll actually see it very clearly. But this is HellRaisers trying to be HellRaisers as they sell a fake out toward middle, and it's going to be G2 body that shuts them down. 2, in fact, before finally getting traded by Sticko. Bomb dropped in the process, but re-grabbed, and they do have the B site to work with. So as you say, Henry, we may not be done just yet. But all signs do still point to defeat. We'll see if they can at least pull this a little bit further, prolong the inevitable, perhaps, as Smith's quickly walking up toward the window is going to just slow slightly and steadily to allow RPK to close in on him. And together they'll draft in toward the site. It's going to be 2 stacked up back platform as well. This is kind of unorthodox, but one's very low. Unfortunately, no nades for G2 to work with, and Zero's going to pick them both off with a P90 regardless.
HellRaisers do find round number 3. And they almost faked it towards A a little bit there. And it was a smoke towards CT spawn, then forcing their way towards middle, up towards B, and then CTs just really have much to work with. They did the UMP, and then for a window, one flash came out, and the UMP couldn't actually do anything once his teammate went down. So this will be, when you go here from G2, you can see just some upgraded pistols, Scream with the head armor as well. Surely another default from HellRaisers.
Just desperately wants another head. Sure, he almost had that crosshair lined up. Angel's got it back. He desperately wanted it. Now it's going to be RPK that gets 2. All right. Thanks, Shocks, for going down. He follows up, goes back to 3 versus 3. RPK showing off some style.
In Source, right? His Desert Eagle on shore, Dust2, was renowned for crazier stuff than that. He used to do it all the time. 2 or 3 kills every time he pushed shore with Eagle. And I thought he was going to do it again, though, with a 3rd, but only picked up 2.
Well, either way, it's 0. Just lurking inside tunnels right now. Does still have the M4 to work with. Scream waiting, another guy that's potential with the accuracy. The one that perhaps of the ones remaining with the Deagle you wouldn't expect to come up successfully would be Smith's. Just not really his weapon of choice, as we know, as he goes down. But Body does tap away to find 0 immediately after. However, Smike trades against him. It is Scream versus 2. The head's nearly shown. He knows they've gone up CAD, but he's going to be a little slow to this, and they'll get another bomb plant over toward the A site.
He's got the M4 now, so all of a sudden it does come a little bit more possible, especially if they plan for short as well. Need to be careful with the decisions they make, and that was the opportunity for Scream to get the first kill. He's denied it for now, so long platform plant comes in. You can see Bondic will be crossing over, and Scream now flashes over, jumps down to CT spawn as well. Undetected for now, but will be gifted the opportunity to take down Smike. Oh, we kind of knows.
That's actually kind of nuts. Jumps, tries to at least, but Bondic was waiting it long, no chance. It's going to go down. Another round in the books for HellRaisers, written on the pages of history that no one will study when this is over, because no one will remember.
Why?
Because they won't. It's just one of those games.
It's true. I don't think this will be going down as a historic game.
Unless there's a comeback, and then everyone will remember.
It's one of the sickest comebacks of all time, and G2 still can't close that game on the CT half. Can you imagine? We'll see. This is another partial buy for them. Some Desert Eagles armor again. They have been pretty deadly with these Deagles, so why not? Scream does take the first shot towards B-Tunnel. It's can't find anything just yet. Smike is rattling off AWP fire. No one able to strike as of yet.
Well, Smiths with the 5-7 will watch toward the catwalk this time. Angel that'll walk that direction slowly with the AK-47 in hand. Scream slowly getting out toward tunnels. He's going to get spotted by 0 behind the pillar, who hasn't landed the kill just yet. Nearly gave him a chance to get that Deagle back in position, but he doesn't. RPK again, though, showing accuracy with his pistols and heads, but Smike to get 2 shots back, including Body, who tried to rotate over and catch them on catwalk after his teammate was reasonably successful inside of middle, but you won't sell the same pitch twice. At least not to that venture capitalist, who will take back 2. It's on to Shocks. AK grab, tries to go for a quick peek, gets tagged up, down to 21, and as he chases Smike, he'll have to confront Ike. I really want that to be a thing, but it's Bondic instead.
It is Bondic instead. 15-5. We do have a buy available for G2. This is the one to close it out. HellRaisers have now found 3 rounds in a row. Just to point out that G2 have had these huge scorelines before on the terrorist half, and then the CT seems to crumble for them. Still a lot of work for the HellRaisers to do. 10 rounds in a row just to get us to overtime. So surely this is only going to go one way. It's a double orb set up for the French side. That's Mike. Looks towards middle to see if anyone will be challenging him. Just done those Shocks.
Lovely Molotov.
Yeah, didn't really work.
More of a firework than anything.
Mid is open for now. Scream watching it from outside, well, inside the B-bomb site. Seeing anyone will be walking out. Then we have got some back now towards C spawn. That's going to be Shocks.
Straightforward again up toward catwalk. They're really slowing this down, HellRaisers, aren't they? They're really trying to find the seams to rip apart on this G2 defense, the holes to exploit. And they're setting for it. Smiths this time out toward car. Default position. Shocks will play the boxes once more. I don't necessarily mind this position because he can get a good amount of vision for anyone that does try and drop down. But again, they're going to sell the fake. Same play. So 1 player left on catwalk to try and cut off any rotations, go late, and the rest will go down through mid. Shocks knows it. He's dropped off the box. He's going to try and get in a position to catch them, but watch the cross set. As they wait for him, no one comes out from B to support. Scream finally does. Smike's there, though. Drops him down. And now it's on to Body. Backside bomb dropped. Peeks up, though. Zero's already past the smoke and gotten into the site. And although the bomb's dropped way back behind the boxes, he's going to allow his teammate to rotate in before he crosses the door, before he dare confront the window, and he's got lots of time. He's still over toward A, and late coming in from the T-spawn is RPK, rotating out from long. He's just run in on this. He's making so much noise, though. Zero noise. He's there, but he's caught in the open. It's low HP. Angel the last alive, and G2, have they done it just enough?
There it is. G2 finally closed out a game here in Pro League after losing 6 maps in a row. They pick up their first on Dust2 against HellRaisers. The first half, you have to say, Matt, very, very convincing. 13-2. I think it would take an absolute miracle for them to throw that away. So they do close things out. 16-5. It's RPK got the last couple of frags there, but what a performance, especially in the first half from Shox. 25 kills there, and yeah, I'm very impressed and happy they've finally arrived in this league, you know?
Absolutely. Their season's been a lot like playing a game of Tinder so far. When you get on there and all your first halves, you're like, oh, this is so easy. Look at all these matches. And then as soon as you go to try and close the deal, it never happens. But finally, they got to home plate. So congratulations, G2. They're on the board with a win. With that said, we'll go back over to Alex, who knows about another application you can download on your phone.
That's right, Matt. The application is called the Score Esports application. You can go ahead and find it on your smartphone, iOS, and Google Play. He set me up, and I'm just going to finish the job. I don't know why I'm using basketball as a reference. I do not watch basketball, and he
That
does.
was very masculine.
Do you like that?
This.
Is that not how you do it? Is that not how you throw the ball in the net? 3
Nailed
points.
it.
3 points.
Nailed
I think you
it.
get.
Let's just pretend.
Just say Kobe. Just say Kobe. That'd be a
Kobe.
Nice.
Okay. Anyway,
Nice.
basketball
No one
aside,
knows.
CS has
UK
happened.
people and basketball. Brilliant.
Yeah, we don't really do it. Yeah,
No.
we know. We try.
us in sports as a whole is hilarious.
Hey,
as it
we
is
have that cricket thing, which kind of.
that we lose occasionally on.
Yeah, actually, we're not as
We're not that
we make
great.
sports, and then
And
people
then
get
lose
better.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like rugby, football, all of these. We
Yeah,
just.
let's not bring it up.
Anyway, we suck at sports, but now hope we actually suck at esports as well. Oh dear. Anyway, moving
make
into
good tea,
the
though.
success we do. Really good tea. G2 finally closing out, and I got a little nervous that we were going to be seeing a HellRaisers comeback like with a similar capacity.
You heard Henry's voice just dipping into.
Yeah.
They've got to close this round. They haven't closed this round. All right. Next one. When's that next buy coming in?
Yeah.
You just hear it just like
And Matt's just sitting there like, it's just inevitable at this point in time. It's like,
just both praying on it, just like, come on, guys, you can make it happen.
Yeah, and they did close it out. We still got to see a couple of flashy plays from the likes of Shox and Scream, kind of back to what they wanted to see. I mean, Yanko, at one point you actually said, "Shox is back, boys." Where did that come from?
I mean, he had something like 16 kills in 8 rounds, pretty much. And I
Two
think,
kills a round?
Nice, Alex. Nice. I feel like G2 was up 5-0 in like 5 minutes or 6 minutes.
Yeah.
All the rounds ended so quickly, and that's what happens when their style works for them. And Shox, as One and Scream are on point. There was that round from Scream on long where he got
the
the 2
double.
one-taps where Henry started making some questionable
What was that noise, Alex?
noises.
It was kind of like a. It's kind of what the night. You
We
should
need
check
to
it out. It's
review
been
that.
tweeted at ESLCS. Tweeted it.
No, it was G2 Esports.
The GT Esports
Okay.
tweeted it. Okay, go check it out.
Find
It's funny. It is funny.
And
It
it was
is
just a
fantastic.
dominant performance from G2 all around. You even saw a round where they went for that smoke execute towards the A bomb site we were talking about, and Smike had the AWP, but he missed 2 shots. But by that point, they were
over.
already, they already double teamed them, so to speak, and there was nothing he could do. And that's the problem, like that you have. You have Oscar maybe in that position, not to compare him. Okay. Not Oscar, but you have someone, if you hit those shots, then you buy time for your teammates to rotate in. You can hope for a retake. If you don't hit the shot, you just die. The round is over at that point, even though it's a 5v4.
Yeah, let's be honest. G2 just played to their own skill level, not their opponents, which has seemed to be a bit of a problem. And obviously closing games has always been the next issue, which they eventually did. But yeah, they just look confident. They just took fights and they won them. Dust2 is a great map for them. We've finally seen them. That should have been the scoreline, let's be honest. That should have been every day of the week what they're able to achieve. Good stuff, right?
It was.
The threat is still
easy.
Nuke, right? There's still a threat. It shouldn't be, because we've seen that they can perform.
And we didn't see them play CT side. I mean, luckily they won 13 rounds on their T side. If you remember against Navi, they had 11 rounds on the T side. Still wasn't enough for them. So
You've made actually a very good point. Starting on the T side probably did help G2 have a scoreline like that. Damn, Yanko. Again with the spicy analysis. Fantastic. Right, we're going to take a break.
Almost as if I'm doing my job, Alex.
You're good at it. And it still continues to surprise me. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and take our break. When we do come back, we will be seeing Nuke. Lauren's got HellRaisers down to take in this one. What do you have to say? Hit us up with the hashtag ESL Pro League.
Just a play-by-play caster, of course.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, what does she know?
Yeah, what do I know?
Hashtag ESL Pro League. I'm actually making a hashtag with my fingers. What do you think, guys? You're a fan?
You need to stop.
Hashtag ESL Pro League. You go tell us if you think HellRaisers can bring it back on Nuke. We'll be right after the break with more CS.
Kobe.